Just got home from grabbing a burg on this thing. Narrowly missed all this, so I'm gonna try and do a quick build breakdown on the scooter. I just filmed this whole video with the garage closed because it was raining, but now it looks like this outside. Bike breakdown. I bought it in 2018. Bone stock, looked like this. Did a couple little bolt-on things, rode it for a year. The following year, kind of learned how to do wheelies and shit, and then that winter, tore it apart a little bit further. Painted it to match my truck, chrome 9 spokes. I think I had an unknown pipe on there. Legend shocks and shit. Kind of looked like this for the next 3 or 4 years. It was pretty heavy in the stunt deal, so I kind of beat the bike to hell, and then I ended up looping it out in 2021, so tore it all the way apart. First thing that I had done was the paint. It was done by some guys local here. Dude who did the graphics passed away pretty recently, so I'm pretty glad to have a piece of his work kind of live with me forever. So yeah, got it painted. Just kind of started collecting parts. I obviously knew from the jump I was going with kind of a retro theme, so I found these wheels. These are CCI custom chrome from '95. These wheels were actually manufactured by Weld Racing, which is pretty cool. I found those, and then I think the second thing that I found that matched was the derby cover. The hardest parts to find were the brake rotors that matched and the sprocket that matched. The points cover, the intake, and sprocket and derby cover all were new old stock custom chrome on eBay. Buddy Frank at Ramjet helped me track down these brake rotors, which they still make. However, they don't make the right side fronts. This is actually another rear rotor on the right front. Pretty early on in the build, I dropped a whole load of shit off to my polisher, which included the wheels, the brake pedal, handlebars, throttle housing, the master cylinder, clutch and brake levers, the risers, trees, fork lowers, what else? Exhaust. So yeah, I got those back, kind of started doing a little bit of mock-up on it. As far as wiring goes, obviously there's not a lot going on. No buttons, no switches. Headlight is wired to high beam all the time. Stripped the harness down pretty heavy and swapped the factory key switch out with this just off, on, and then start. So everything is right there. This is original Garage Moto anti-buffeting kit, windshield, and these little windshield arms for the fairing. These are Pro Taper dirt bike bars that I had polished. Hard case risers they don't make anymore that are for the 1 1/8" moto clamping surface. 7/8 controls. Yeah, so KTM 450 throttle. There's a Pro Circuit billet throttle tube in there. A billet housing from Bulletproof Designs. Again, had that polished. Had to have some custom cables made to work with the throttle body and shit. Renthal, mini donut, light gray, soft compound, only grips I'll run. Elite Mototech clutch and brake levers, Brembo RCS 19. Screaming Eagle fork brace. I didn't know those were rare or expensive until a couple months ago. Front suspension is a Legend drop-in cartridge, 2-over tubes. Had these inserts forever, and whether I'm stunting or just riding it on the street, these are super nice. Didn't really like their rear shocks though. As far as the motor goes, I went to stuff the stock 88 back in it, and the crank had a run out of like 70 thousandths. So tore it apart. We did a crank up 95-inch build on it, a welded crank, 10.5 to 1 compression, S&S cams, cam plate, oil pump, all that good stuff. Heads were decked a little bit. Stock 5-speed trans. I had the whole drivetrain was powder coated yellow to match.
Might be kind of hard to see, but there's a Harley hookup billet oil pan under there that I had polished.
Looks pretty cool when you can see it. The front fender is handmade by me. Aside from like kind of the top frame, I just took a stock Dyna fender, cut the brackets off, trimmed up the main sweep a little bit, and then I built these sides. Bead rolled this reveal before I cut it out, so it left a little bit of this roll here. And then the rear fender, again, is something I built kind of when this thing was a stunt bike. Chopped, used to have titanium. It's got 1/4-inch strap up to both strut holes, so it's pretty sturdy. Kind of my main regret on the whole bike would be not having a stock fender painted initially, but I didn't really plan on going this crazy with the bike. So seat is a Saddleman step up that my buddy Paul with Precision Upholstery Designs recovered for me. Kind of a moto nerd. I got a couple new old stock InStyle seat covers off of eBay, Use that gripper, and then this is just like a marine grade vinyl that matched the paint super good. Faux Alcantara here. These are Harley like spark plug kind of covers. Just kind of clean up the B side of the motor a little bit, even though it already looks like shit due to the powder coat and the base gaskets. For the taillight, this is a Custom Dynamics plate frame. Wired it to have the brake light, my running light, and then if you can see, I wired the brake lights to just the blinkers on either side. And then I have this mounted off of just a single hole that I already had for my old taillight. I didn't want to drill new holes after I had it painted, so mounted through a single hole with a socket head Allen that I drilled hollow all the way through. And then if you can see, probably not, but I ran the wiring harness for the plate frame through the middle of that bolt out the bottom and then up to the connector in the frame. Batubo chrome 14-inch rear shocks, Ramjet ARP shock hardware kit, the polished little spacers, OEM Harley chrome swing arm, bare knuckle performance axle adjusters, front and rear axles, and swing arm pivot bolt that are all stainless. This is a late model Dyna brake switch banjo bolt I had to run because I got rid of obviously the factory rubber hose, and the early Dynas had an inline brake light switch, so ran the late model unit. One of the harder parts to find was this fucking chrome rear master cylinder, which I got from a guy on fucking Craigslist because I couldn't find one anywhere else. For brakes, again, the Brembo front master PM 6-piston direct bolts on the front, and their 4-piston direct bolt with their bracket on the rear. Brake lines are Goodrich stainless AN brake lines. I got all that stuff from Ramjet, along with the brake line T. It's also got the Goodrich stainless braided fuel line. Chain drive, obviously, was done forever ago. Got a Rivera Primo Pro clutch in there. My Machinist top motor mount with the horn delete. Amazon Crater T-Sport replica fairing that I built these brackets for forever ago when I first got the fairing. Kind of chintzy. I could do better now, but they work. They're just to run Harley quick release clamps on here so I can pop the fairing off super quick. It's got a ton of thrashing parts on it. It's got their shift linkage, shift lever, shifter tip, front and rear. I don't remember the name of these foot pegs, which style they are, but yeah, thrashing pegs, thrashing pipe. And that's pretty much the gist of the bike. I think I got everything covered, but if not, if anybody's got any questions, happy to answer them.